You might have noticed that Leeds United have a little bit of a goalkeeper issue, or at the very least will have a little bit of a goalkeeper issue in the summer, and Leeds are reportedly looking at making a goalkeeping signing to fix that, which I will get to in a few minutes after I talk through the problem a little bit more, because it's a little bit deeper than a lot of people might realise. So, currently Leeds United starting goalkeeper is Carl Darlow, which you might think fantastic. He played fairly well against Bosnia for Wales. He played reasonably well for, did I say that the right way around? I don't know. Played reasonably well against Northern Ireland for Wales. And you're thinking, okay, cool, it's fine. He's playing this season, he can play for us next season. Issue is, he runs out of contract in the summer, which is not fantastic. His second choice goalkeeper at Leeds United currently is Lucas Perry, who, in terms of contract, sure, has plenty of time on it. However, he's not currently fancied by Daniel Farke because, well, he was dropped quicker than Illan Meslier was, which is quite an achievement in exchange for Darlow. Below Lucas Perry, you're looking at Alex Cairns, who is on the older side now and also out of contract in the summer. And behind Alex Cairns, you're looking at Illan Meslier, who is also out of contract in the summer and will never play a game for Leeds United again. Let's be completely honest here. Below that, you're looking at Rory Mahady, maybe Robbie Cook. So things get a little bit complicated. Leeds United need to sign at least one senior goalkeeper, maybe two, which is where this little rumour seems to have popped up, where Leeds have a little bit of an interest in signing Sol Brynn, who is currently a goalkeeper at Middlesbrough. I say a goalkeeper, he's currently the goalkeeper at Middlesbrough. He's their first team keeper, plays week in, week out. He's got 39 appearances so far this season, and is reasonably solid. He's a very, very, very good goalkeeper. This is coming courtesy of Jer at the Leeds View, who has heard the story from someone else, but then went a step further to get it basically confirmed from someone related to the situation very, very closely, that this is a move that has a lot of potential to happen. In terms of sources, I would not question this one in the slightest, so happy to just talk it over. Leeds are going to need to sign keepers, and Sol Brynn seems to be one of the standout options in the Championship, currently playing for Middlesbrough, because Middlesbrough are doing pretty damn well. Let's just see specifically where they are. I think they're still second place, but that could be Ipswich by now. It's a little bit confusing down there. Borough, at the moment, are in second place, which means that they have potential to be in the Premier League, and a significant part of that is coming from Brynn. They've currently conceded 37 goals this season, which is less than one per match, which is sort of impressive. You don't really get those numbers from any goalkeeper. And with 7 matches left of the season, he's looking like he's going to concede less than 1 goal per game in that role. In addition to that, his passing is incredibly good, 92% passing accuracy within his own half, which means even sort of medium range passing is clearly very, very good. The short range passing also fantastic, which suits Daniel Farke's system down to the ground. Fits in with our current sort of system of recruitment. So he's a 25-year-old, so it suits that particular sort of goal that we tend to go for in terms of the sort of 25 to 27-year-old range. Happy to play as a sweeper keeper, so his heat map effectively has him going all over the shop, not just restricted to being within his box. He has got a little bit of an underperformance compared to his XG, which honestly a lot of keepers kind of do. That's not the sort of thing that you can constantly keep on top of, and a lot of that comes down to a little bit of sort of questionable data, especially when the numbers are as low as they are. Borough don't concede that many chances, so when they do concede chances, they tend to be high quality. Which leaves a question of Sol Brynn, English, 6'4", 25-year-old. Why would Leeds United not go for him? Seems like a fantastic signing, and this is where we get a little bit of a problem. The sort of underlying issue that Leeds have with our recruitment at the minute, which is there is no certainty at the moment. Certainty is one of the most important things to have when you're thinking up a recruitment strategy, and that is the opposite of what Leeds have at the moment. Because if you're looking at this situation right now, Leeds are currently sat just above the relegation zone, which is not the most comfortable place to be, and I'm personally looking at that and I'm thinking we'll probably be fine. Tottenham have just signed De Zerbi, which he's a good manager, but he's not exactly the kind of guy that puts together a healthy looking dressing room if you have a look at what happened at Marseille. So I personally don't see De Zerbi being the guy that saves them. I can honestly see Spurs going down, but anyone potentially wanting to come into Leeds has to be aware that we might go down, and so do our recruitment team. If there's a chance we might be in the Championship, you can't purely prepare Premier League level signings. At the same time, Borough being second place in the Championship means that they don't know where they're going to be next season. Having a look at the standings, sure, they're currently in second by 2 points, with Ipswich on reasonably good form right below them, on significantly better goal difference. Ipswich's goal difference of 28, their goal difference of 22. It's not the best of positions to be in. Then, if you drop into the playoffs, as Leeds United know, if you spent the entire season in the top two and then you drop out of it, it's not great for a playoff performance, as we witnessed at Wembley when we went out. Thank you, Southampton, you knobheads. It's a danger, if you're Leeds United, to think that if Borough get promoted, then is Brynn really going to want to come to join us, because he's come through the academy there. He spent a lot of time at Borough. He's a Middlesbrough lad. I've forgotten what they're called in terms of regionalness. I know Geordie, Newcastle, Mackham, Sunderland. Smoggy? Smoggy feels right. But he's one of those. He's a Middlesbrough boy, which means that he's likely to want to stay there. And that means we've got a sort of weird double uncertainty going on right now. And this entire thing is sort of indicative of Leeds United's entire transfer strategy. It's the reason that it's quite hard to talk about potential moves that Leeds United are making. Like, I've seen time and time again the rumour that we're potentially looking at signing Hayden Hackney, but one has to assume that, well, if we do go for Hayden Hackney, then that probably means that Borough are still in the Championship. And the only way that we can really do that is if we're still in the Premier League, and there's a lot of big question marks. So it gets quite hard to get an idea of who Leeds are looking at, because as opposed to what happened last year, when there will have just been a list of targets that we are going to go for, because we knew that we were promoted relatively early with a couple of games left, which was quite nice. But rather than that one list of players that you want for a range of positions, it's now what if Championship, what if Premier League, and it's incredibly difficult to work out what happens in each of those situations. If we get relegated, do we extend Darlow's contract? If we stay up, do we extend Darlow's contract? They're both really good questions. What happens with the outgoing? So you can sort of assume that if we stay up, maybe there's a chance that Tanaka goes because, well, a lot of people don't believe that he's of the level. Daniel Farke doesn't give him that many minutes at this level. But then again, if we get relegated, Tanaka walks back into the side. It's an incredibly difficult conversation to have, and I think Brynn is a sort of shining example of that. In addition to that, I think he'd want to play a lot of football, so I'm not necessarily certain that he would come, because you don't really know that he'd get that, because Perry's still here and he'd have to sort of prove his way in, but I kind of like that. I like having two goalkeepers that are of an equivalent level. But yeah, I think the entire thing is a big marker for what's going on with Leeds' transfer strategy, why it's so difficult right now to work out where we're going to be going and why we're going to be going there, and ultimately how we can prepare for the summer, which is going to be wild, to be honest. Like, we've got a World Cup. I might do World Cup videos, I don't know. But amongst the World Cup, odds are you're going to try and sign international players, but they're going to be over in America, so it's going to be weird to try and sign them. But I'm going to be here doing videos on it all anyway, so stick around, subscribe for that, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, pop a like in it, become a channel member, all that fun stuff. Sorry it was a bit of a rambly one. That's going to happen sometimes, you guys know me by now. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you later. Toodaloo, amigos.